Chapter 6, Collaborating and Working as a Team. The quality of results often increases when a problem is addressed through collaborations. Barbara Gray, collaboration is important. In teaching, as in other areas of activity, we can achieve much more through collaboration and teamwork than we can do alone. If you look at any medical education journal, you will see that few, if any, articles have a single author. Most have multiple authors, with the work reported being the product or team of contributors. The development and delivery of a course or curriculum, the design of a new learning or assessment strategy, and research into medical education all require teamwork. In medical education, there is the potential for a productive synergy between the different stakeholders, leading to more effective, more efficient, and innovative programs. Collaboration may involve the teachers or trainers responsible for a course or education program, including the basic scientists and the clinicians, students, others in your institution, including education technologists, instructional designers, education psychologists, researchers, and administrators, other healthcare professionals, including nurses, pharmacists, and physiotherapists, other stakeholders, including patients, directors of hospitals, and regulators, those involved with the different phases of undergraduate, postgraduate, and continuing education, teachers responsible for the delivery of a similar education program locally, nationally, or internationally. Collaboration has even been described as the lifeblood of the school or institution. A study in secondary schools in the United States found that students' achievements were greater when the teachers collaborated, when they had frequent conversations with their colleagues, and when there was a feeling of closeness among teachers. These and other benefits could be achieved in medical education. Collaboration between teachers within a medical school. Collaboration between teachers is essential for the effective and efficient development and implementation of the education program. By collaborating, much more can be achieved with greater effectiveness, efficiency, and time saved. Since the 1970s, the need for collaboration to deliver the education program in a medical school has been recognized more in some countries than others. It is now standard practice in most institutions for the design and implementation of the program to be the responsibility of a curriculum committee and not to be left to individual departments or professors. Collaboration between the different disciplines and between the basic and clinical scientists is necessary if an integrated curriculum is to be delivered as described in Chapter 17. Each member of the team brings to the collaboration not only their specific content knowledge and expertise, but also their individual teaching skills. An atmosphere of collegiality amongst teachers is important and has been shown to contribute to student achievement. Teachers need to be supportive of and courteous and respectful towards each other and demonstrate that they work together as members of a team. Collaboration with others within your institution. Recent developments in education technology include e-learning, simulation, virtual patients, and the education applications of social media. We also have a greater understanding of how students learn. For the full benefits to be realized, however, we require collaboration between teachers and education technologists, instructional designers, specialists in medical education, and researchers. Experience has demonstrated that developments in medical education prove to be most successful where there is close collaboration between the content experts, medical educationists, technologists, and administrators. Lack of such cooperation is one of the reasons why there has been a lack of progress made in areas such as curriculum mapping, collaboration between the different phases of medical education. In 1932, the New York Commission on Medical Education noted that artificial segregation of the basic medical course, the internship, the training of the specialist, or the continuing education of the general practitioner is very likely to create serious gaps in the education of physicians which should be avoided. In Australia, a committee of inquiry into medical education and medical workforce reported the committee recognizes that if it were given the task of designing a medical education system for Australia de novo, it might well choose to take quite different approaches. It would certainly wish to remove some of the discontinuities in the system. More recently, in a call for reform of medical school and residency in the United States, Cook, Irby and O'Brien noted that there is no single agency responsible for regulating and financing medical education. Multiple agencies participate in this process and often hold conflicting expectations of programs and learners. Each of the various entities has a vested interest in ensuring the highest quality of medical education, yet most work separately to promote innovation, and this lack of coordination sometimes has the opposite effect. Despite these pressures for change, much remains to be done if we are to achieve a seamless continuum of education across the training program for a doctor. If we were to design a fresh training program for doctors, it is unlikely that we would end up with a program divided into the separate compartments or silos of undergraduate, postgraduate, and continuing education. Today, we see attempts to bridge the gaps. In most cases, the divide between the basic science teaching in the early years of an undergraduate curriculum and the clinical training in the later years has already been removed. The problems associated with the transition of medical students to clinical practice following graduation from medical school are recognized. Closer attention is now paid, as described in Section 2 of this book, to ensuring that students on graduation have the necessary practical competencies and that during the undergraduate program they have direct experience of their future role through shadowing a junior doctor while a student. Short transition or bridging courses have also been found to be useful. The importance of lifelong learning and continuing professional development is now also recognized, and the ability of learners to take responsibility for their own learning is an expected outcome of the undergraduate program. Instead of separate curricula for basic medical education, postgraduate specialist training, and CPD, we should have an extended curriculum starting when students are admitted to medical school and extending until they retire from medical practice. Figure 6.1, Continuum of Education. The move from separate phases or silos of education to a seamless continuum with an extended curriculum across the phases. Medical education continuum and the extended curriculum. Undergraduate, postgraduate, CPD education. Louis First, president of the National Board of Medical Examiners in the United States, argued at the AME 2012 conference in Lyon that such a continuum of medical education across the different phases was highly desirable and could be achieved. More generally, the concept of seamless learning connected across different settings, technologies, and activities was identified in an Open University report in 2012 as an important development in pedagogy. As teachers, we need to support learners to develop their own system of learning across time and space. Portfolios can contribute to this, as discussed in Chapter 33, Collaboration with Other Healthcare Professionals. Teamwork and interprofessional collaboration is now recognized as a requirement for the delivery of effective patient care and patient safety. If we expect doctors to work as a team with other professionals once they are qualified, they need to be prepared for this as a student. Team and communication skills and an understanding and respect for other healthcare professionals should be reflected in the curriculum and the educational strategies adopted. Interprofessional education is now on the agenda in postgraduate education and in the early and later years of the undergraduate program. This is explored further in Chapter 18, Collaboration with Other Stakeholders. The planning and delivery of the education program should be the responsibility not solely of the teachers in the medical school. A wide range of stakeholders should be engaged, as described by Vincent Dumas at the AME 2012 conference in Lyon. Patients can have important roles to play in defining the learning outcomes for the education program, in planning the program, and in its delivery. Current students, recent graduates, and the employers of doctors all have a role to play in curriculum development. Increasingly, curriculum committees represent these different interests. Collaboration between teachers with the responsibility for a similar program locally, nationally, or internationally. At present, it is expected that a medical school will take responsibility for the delivery of all aspects of the training program. In business, outsourcing has become standard practice. One organization might provide services for another organization rather than it being provided in-house. In education, the benefits of collaborating with other institutions and outsourcing part of the education program include cost savings, the opportunity to focus on core activities, quality improvement, access to additional experts and facilities, and increased capacity for innovation. A medical school should no longer attempt to be self-sufficient in the delivery of the education program. Figure 6.2 medical schools should work no longer in isolation in the delivery of their education program, but should collaborate with other schools. The future will see greater sharing of curriculum planning, teachers, educational expertise, learning resources, and learning opportunities. Online programs that cover some aspects of the medical curriculum are already available. This will increase significantly in the years ahead. The cardiovascular program in Dundee had input from teachers in 14 different schools around the world, and students in Dundee had an online cardiology tutor located in Florida, thousands of miles from their own location. Some institutions are now collaborating in the award of a joint degree. In their Prague communique of 2001, European ministers of higher education called to step up the development of modules, courses, and curricula offered in partnership by institutions from different countries and leading to a recognized and joint degree. Recognizing the international dimensions, we may see in the future the award of joint degrees in medicine. Collaboration in practice. Why does collaboration not happen to a greater extent in education if the need for teamwork and collaboration in medical practice is now recognized? The answer to the question is represented by the formula. Collaboration vision equals negative mindset. The need for an agreed vision for the collaboration, a shared implemental strategy, and the avoidance of a negative mindset are all important if successful collaboration is to be achieved. The book Collaboration, What Makes It Work reviews and summarizes the research literature on factors that influence the success of collaboration. The need for an agreed vision for the collaboration with set limits is necessary, and polarization should be avoided where some individuals are for and others against collaboration. This can be achieved if there is an imaginable, flexible, feasible, desirable, focused, and communicable vision. For a successful collaboration, there should be concrete, obtainable goals and objectives, a shared vision, and a unique purpose. A sharing strategy for the collaboration is also important, with good communication essential. The specification of learning outcomes in an outcome competency-based approach to education as described in Section 2 is an important catalyst in this respect. The learning outcomes or competencies provide a shared language or vocabulary that is essential if there is to be an extended curriculum across the different phases of the education program. This shared vocabulary also facilitates collaboration nationally and internationally and across the different healthcare professions. Internationalization in medicine, with greater mobility of doctors and an emphasis on teamwork, are additional catalysts for a greater degree of collaboration in education. Collaboration, however, is not always easy and may be hindered by a negative mindset against moving from the traditional model of teacher relationships to one where there is greater collaboration. There is concern that collaboration takes too much time. It destroys individual characteristics, it removes competitiveness, and it generates personality conflict. There may also be a fragmented vision of the education program with socially embedded knowledge structures within each group discouraging collaboration. On the other hand, John Steiner suggested in Creative Collaboration that greater collaboration thrives on diversity of perspectives and on constructive dialogue between individuals negotiating their differences while creating their shared voice and vision. At a time of financial constraints and at a time when there are increasing pressures for change, we may be forced to be more creative and to think about how we may collaborate in different ways. While some elements of collaboration are the responsibility of institutions, collaboration is also a responsibility of the individual teacher. Creating something better than we can achieve on our own can be satisfying and rewarding.